All right, so thanks for all the guest speakers. Make sure you stop by their tents or their tables and speak with them. Of course, today we're demonstrating drones, and we're here for a drone demonstration. But with that being said, we're also going to cover very limited amount, but traditional surf fishing where we hand cast everything out. And these guys that you've seen up here talk so far they wrote the book on surf fishing. I try to surround myself with the best in the business or in the industry, and for some reason I convinced them to partner with me or let me support them and them support me, work together, great working relationship, and that has went above and beyond what I ever thought it would happen. So today we're doing a drone seminar, and with that being said, the water out here behind me is 53 degrees. I have zero expectations of catching a fish today. So don't let that reflect anything that I cover, because it is, if you catch a fish in South Carolina right now in the coast, you got lucky. The fish was lost, he was hungry, starving to death, and he stumbled up on whatever you presented. But with that being said, I'm going to start off with talking about the 3 drones we have set up in front of us here. After I talk about these drones, I will in turn do demonstrations of each drone. If you have any questions, Surf Fishing Hippie or Surf Hippie Fishing that spoke, Nick, he is a ambassador of Swellpro also, and he can funnel some questions for me. So hunt him down, get in his ear. This is not a technical demonstration, or are we tech guys? We're here to demo the capabilities of the drone and introduce. It's a pretty basic level, entry level seminar. So that's what we're going to concentrate on today. Also, Danny over here that I introduced earlier, he's fairly familiar or very familiar with the Swellpro drones. And then Josh Perry, which is back at the table. And then James over here, straight behind the sinker guy. All use Swellpro drones and have a good base knowledge that should be able to field any questions. But if not, this is a seminar where let's ask questions, let's tell stories, and interact. So who here is from Canada? There's got to be somebody in the crowd. Maine, Wisconsin, come on. Oh, we got a Wisconsin up here. You successfully have brought the cold air to Myrtle Beach. Thank you. Yes, it is your fault, but thank you. Also, so who's from Florida? I know we got several of our, all right, I got my man here. You suck at bringing warm water or warm air to Myrtle Beach. But no, the weather's has turned out pretty nice today. And so once we're done, it's scheduled to go to 1 o'clock. But if we get everything covered and it's 12:15, we're done. This is not I want to take up your Saturday type of event. I'm going to cover what I want to cover, try to address any questions you guys have. We're going to give away some stuff, make people happy, and send you guys home. So with that being said, the first drone I'm going to cover today is the Swellpro FD1 Plus, which is also the drone, or I will not be giving this drone away. This is my personal, but on the far table from me in the cardboard box is a brand new drone that as we go to give it away, I'll talk about more about it. But so the Swellpro FD1 Plus drone, it's a workhorse. It's made for delivering baits. It's made for running baits in and out. It has 0 camera features on it. So it has a 4-pound lift capacity that it's rated at. One of the advantages of the FD1 Plus that they improved from their previous models is that this drone has 0 calibration. You turn the drone on, you turn the remote on, they link up to satellites, and then you fly it out. You're ready to deliver baits. The previous model before this, which was the FD1, you had to calibrate that guy. Anytime you moved a couple miles from last place you flew it at, you had to turn around and run a calibration on it. Sometimes it would start acting crazy, run a calibration on it. So one of the improvements that they made going to this FD1 Plus, it's still on the same frame. It's got a 4-pound lift capacity. It will fly in roughly 30 mile per hour winds. If the wind's blowing 30 mile per hour, I'm not fishing. I'm going to stay at the house and look at YouTube and watch Chip the Sinker guys videos and try to get, learn something. But so 30 mile per hour wind, 4-pound lift capacity, and then it has just less than a 1 mile range on this drone. So like I said, it's a workhorse. On the bottom we have a bait connection, which has an actuator on it that goes back to the remote control. So from a switch on the remote control, and we'll demo all this here in a little while, you can open and close. Once you get your bait out where you want it, you drop the bait, the drone comes back, and you're ready to drop another bait or power it down. So FD1, making a huge step up. I'm going to skip this guy and we're going to come all the way down to this drone here. So the drone we're looking at here is the SD4 drone. This is the top end drone that Swellpro makes. It has a camera on it, has camera features. It's a 4K camera. It's on a gimbal, so it can scroll left, scroll right, scroll up, scroll down. And the video feed on this camera, it transmits back either to like an iPad or your telephone, any type of monitor that you have set up, that the feed comes back to. They make as we look at the remote here, there's a clamp on the top, adjustable clamp that you can clamp your cell phone to or your tablet or whatnot, that you can get the live feed directly back. You can record from your phone. You can take pictures. It has multiple features. The camera on this drone is their top end camera. It does way more than I need for surf fishing. This drone is actually Nick's surf fishing hippie, and he takes some nice videos and pictures. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff, but this drone's price point, and I didn't talk about the price point, so sorry. Coming back down to this drone, price point's around $1,300. By the time you get it shipped to you, pay taxes, you're probably going to be in the $1,500 range. Coming down to this drone, and that's all depending on batteries that you pick up. Most drones come with 1 to 2 spare batteries, and we'll talk about the battery life also. But this drone, the way that Nick has it set up with the camera on it, the bait release, you're in the $2,500 range. Nick, is that about right? I'm just going off of memory. So don't hold me to none of these prices, by the way, because I'm not in sales. That's the capabilities. And another strong point of this drone, it has a 3-mile range. So the first drone we looked at, just less, I think they say 0.8 of a mile. Either way, I'm not delivering baits out that far, because you got to reel that guy in. And you start talking about reeling a fish in for a mile. Number one, you have to have a mile of fishing line. I don't. And number two, you have to be man enough or woman enough or person enough to be able to battle that fish in that far. So this drone, 3-mile range, you'll see this drone used a lot in photography situations. A lot of realtors, real estate, people that cruise timber, surveyors will use this drone for those capabilities. And that way they have more of a distance. This drone is, all drones that we're talking about today, all drones we're talking about are waterproof. So the FD1 Plus, Swellpro advertises it's waterproof. The SD4 Swellpro advertises it's waterproof. From my experience, the FD1, SD4, they do float. Waterproof, I've never had good success with that, because when I've crashed them, there's been other issues going on that crack the frame, and when the frame cracks, it's no longer able to hold out water, and it will sink. It will take on water. Salt water and electronics is no good for any situation. You'll hear a lot of people say there's a lot of problems with Swellpro drones. I've been with Swellpro since 2022. Flying drones daily, and yes, I have crashed drones. All of them except for one was my fault. It was user error, and we'll go into some of those situations as we fly out baits, how we can prevent. I've learned the hard way. There was nobody holding my hand when I started this, so had to learn the hard way, and Swellpro really, really appreciated me, because I bought a lot of drones. But you know, that was part of the business and learning curve, and hopefully any of you guys have drones out here today, we can head off some of the issues that I've had in the past as we talk about them. Quick rundown. I'm sure I left off something. As I think about it, I'll bounce back. Moving down to this beast of a drone here in the middle. This is the Fisherman Max. It's the F2 Fisherman Max drone. Its weighted rate capacity is 8 pounds, so we can deliver up to 8 pounds of weight, and that's counting bait and your weight also. So if you're using sinkers, don't forget that your sinkers actually weigh, you know, weight also. So keep in mind. Now, I've delivered 12 plus pounds with this bait. It can do it. Swellpro ain't happy when I do that. They like a short video, but if things go wrong, they're like, "You big dummy, why'd you do that? We told you 8 pounds," you know. But I like pushing the rules, so that's what I do. But today we will be dropping an 8-pound bait. We'll fly it out. Going to go in the 500-yard range on it. But this drone's rated 40-mile-per-hour winds. Once again, I'm not fishing with winds that strong. Today's a perfect day for me. I love days like this because it makes flying the drone, managing the lines easy. We don't have a whole lot of current. This drone does have a 4K camera on it also, but different from the SD4 that we was talking about a moment ago. The Fisherman Max, it has a screen on the remote, so you'll get a live feed from the camera back to this screen, and real-time video feed, and you can actually see what you're doing, you know, as you're doing it. On all the remotes, and I left this out earlier, but on all the remotes, it gives you stats of what the status of your drone is. It'll give you the elevation height that you are, the distance you are out, and the speed that you're moving, which this does it also, but you have an in-color picture on this remote. And the downside to that is that it does not transmit to a cell phone or to a tablet, so everything comes back to this remote here. I like it because when I'm fishing, it's compact, it keeps everything together, and I don't have to have another piece of electronic on the beach. With that being said, you can't rewind, you can't fast forward while you're doing it live, but once you're through fishing, SD card in the camera, you pull it out, you stick it in your phone or in your computer once you get home, and the video, the feed, the pictures and everything that you took actually turn out phenomenal, and it makes it easy to edit from there. This drone does not float, so as you see, it has buoys or float devices on each arm. I've never put this one in the water, so I can't say how it does. If it does go in the water, you know, Swellpro says you can land in the water, take off from the water, do these flips and all that. I'm sure it's correct. I've seen videos myself, but drones cost too much for me to land in salt water, for me to try to take off in salt water and try to flip it in the salt water. You guys, you buy a drone, you're more than welcome. I'll sit here and watch. I'll run a video for you if you want to do that to yours, but I don't want to do that with mine. But 40-mile-per-hour winds, 8-pound capacity, and this also is limited to a 1-mile range. Once again, typically I will not be dropping over 500 yards is going to be about my max drop. So I'm not sure where everyone's from, but as we look at the beach or at the ocean here behind us, we're kind of midway today between low tide and high tide. We got an incoming tide, and just touching on a few little things for traditional surf fishing or fishing in general. Here in South Carolina, we have a very gradual sloping coastline. So right now you could walk out, I don't know, 100 foot, and you might be waist deep here at low tide. You'll drop down a little bit, and then you'll raise up a little bit. At 500 yards out, when we do our 500-yard drop after a while, we're still only going to be in maybe 12 to 15 foot of water. So our coastline here has a very gradual grade. And that's one reason I got into using a drone for assistance on fishing, because hand casting, I'm sitting here casting out. I can get on the backside of these little waves here, but sometimes, especially at low tides, you might need to get just a little bit further. Now, Chip, the sinker guy back here, he tells me he can cast 145 yards. I believe him. He's a big man. I tell Chip I can cast 300 yards, but I'm using my drone, so I don't have to strain myself and whatnot. But with all that being said, I like coming out when it's at low tide, and this is just a little nugget for traditional surf fishing. We can see the lay of the beach. So once the tide comes in, you guys about in line with the speaker, you can see where high tide was at last night. The water's going to come up to here. Well, look, we got a dolphin out here. I knew the dolphins would come through. If you look to your left, they just broke the top water back here. But so as the tide's coming in, you can see these cuts in the beach. So if you've watched any videos, attended any seminars, they always tell you as you approach the beach, look at the water, read the beach. Well, it's very easy to tell what's going to happen at high tide or as the tide comes in by looking at the sand here. We've got a cut here, we've got a cut here, we're going down, we got a little cut. So at high tide, I want to drop my hooks just off the side of these cuts that we see, because that's the channel where the fish and the bait and everything's going to gather. A lot of people say, read the water, read the water. You can read the water if you're really good, but to me it's easier to read an empty beach because it tells me exactly what's going on. Now, it will change a little bit with currents and it'll change a little bit with different tides, but these cuts key you into little honey holes. You'll be catching fish, or you'll be watching someone catch fish, you'll be 100 yards down from them. Well, they're just outside these little cuts, and they're outside the highway where the fish travel, so they're not catching, and you're in the sweet spot. So just a little nugget there. But today, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start transitioning through the seminar, and I'm going to be dropping baits out. All the rods we're using today, with the exception of one, is Ninja tackle rods. I know a lot of you guys that follow me know I use all Ninja tackle and support Ninja tackle and vice versa and all that stuff. So down in number one position, we got the Ninja tackle 8'6" dagger. I'll be hand casting this guy out. Now I said we're doing a drone fishing seminar. Well, I'm gonna hand cast one out because that's what we do. Anytime I'm flying a drone, I'm always dropping baits just right here in the immediate surf. A lot of your trophy fish or your big fish is caught right in the bubbles right here in front of you. You may not catch as many, but there's a lot. And some of the fish that I'm most proud of has come out of knee-deep water just on that little hand-casted rod. Now, if I'm targeting big stuff, that's where I start coming down with the drone rods, and we'll talk about each one in particular, and then we'll do a little demo fly baits out. But rod number one, I'm using, as far as gear, like I said, it's the 8'6" Ninja dagger. Got a 4500 pin spin fisher reel. And everybody always asks, what size line do you use? What type of line? I use all braid line across the board. Running a charter service, a lot of the people I fish with, the fishermen, fisherwomen, fishing children, have zero experience. So I go with a little heavier setup than is necessary for those purposes, because I can crank the drag down and have them to winch these fish in. And it's hard to teach a 10-year-old young man or young lady how to manipulate the drag when their adrenaline's pumping 800 miles per hour. They ain't heard a word you've said in the last 5 seconds since they've hooked up, and they're not going to listen to you anyways. They're going to bring the fish in, they're going to throw your rod down in the sand, and they're going to run down to that fish and, oh my God, look what I just caught. So as I talk about the line and the line capacity I use, I beef it up for those purposes. So I'm using 30-pound braid on my rigs or my rods where I'll be throwing double drop sinkers. I use, or double drop rigs, high-low rig. Today, what I have on is sold by Rogue Reels. It's called the Demo rig. It's just your typical high-low rig. It's got a float on the hooks. Today, I've got straight fish bites on. And so anytime I'm hand casting a rod out, I will have either solely fish bites. And like Brett said, it comes in every flavor, every color. And I've not found one that you can go wrong with. I always keep a mixed bag with me, because today, gray moss, 2 hours from now, sand flea in the gold, or in the orange, and the orange white may be the secret ticket. You've got your electric chicken that comes in a fluorescent and a pink color. So many different colors, so many different flavors. And the electric chicken, it is not chicken flavor. It's shrimp flavored. But Brett, how'd that come about, bud? All right, hey, he's not listening. It's just the color. So yeah, I thought it was going to smell and taste like fried chicken when I opened it up. But the way it catches fish, I was good with it. But so I think Danny's going to cast this rod out for us. We're just going to hand cast it, take it out there, throw wherever you want to, Danny. Get it out of the way so when we fly the drone rods, I told Danny I was going to find something for him to do. But as he gets it out, I'm going to talk about the next rod down, which is also, it's a Ninja Dagger. It's the 11-foot rod, 11-foot dagger. And we're also running the high-low rig on it, the same rig, demo rig that Danny's hand casting out now. But what we're going to do different on this is we're actually going to use a drone. You remember, Chip can throw 145 yards, but I struggle to reach my 145 yards, so I'm going to cheat and use a drone. Rogue Reels makes a nifty little attachment. It's called a drone attachment that I can go hook it to the rig. It's just got a clasp up top, and then down below it has a loop that I'm able to hook into the drone. So we talked about the different depths. Right now we have very cool water, cold water, 53 degrees. So the only fish I found in the last couple months has been out about 175 yards. We're looking at puffer fish. If we get lucky, maybe hook up with puffer. There are some black drums starting to be caught off the end of the pier. So by using the drone, we can fish from the beach and fish the same zones these guys do from the pier down here. Of course, from the pier, they're just walking down till they get to the distance they need or want, and then they drop off the side. But by using the drone, if I want to drop this double drop rig out at 150 yards, 200 yards, very simple. I just read my readings on my drone as I fly it out, and we make that drop. So I'm going to put this connection on. The clasp, I clip it into the swivel up top here. And I'm going to turn the mic off for just a second, get this rigged up, and then I'll come back live and explain to you what I'm doing.
Take over. You have to stand near the speaker when he talks, though, because nobody can hear it.
Go for it, man.
Oh, yeah. They were showing me how we set up.
Hello. Okay. Yes, we're still back live. Okay. So one thing, Danny brought up a couple things to my attention while we were pulling together. So and as we go down the line, each rig we're using or we'll be flying out has a specific purpose. Everybody always asks me, how long does my rig need to be? How long does my line need to be going to my braid? Well, there's a lot of things that factor into that. One thing being the length of your rod. So if you're using a 7-foot rod and you're using braid line going to, any typical rig, usually you need to have a shock leader in there, and that's what the mono portion is that you tie to your braid line. So if you're using a 7-foot rod and trying to cast a rig that's 8 foot long, you're not going to have good success. So everything has to be balanced out, and each rod. So you'll notice the 8'6", I'm using a little shorter rig, and then when we get down here and I'm using a 12-foot rod, I'll use a rig that's a little bit longer. All the rigs that I use, especially my heavy rigs, I get from Rogue Reels, which was Rob that spoke to you guys earlier today. I'll be talking about each rig. He sells the demo rigs. It's what we're covering right now. Demo, as in finding demo. that will help you. And then also, if you're a surf fisherman and or woman or child or young man or any of that stuff, and you use spinning gear, most of the time, if you're right-handed, you reel with your left hand. You'll notice all my rods that are spinning gear being 1, 2, and 3, the handle is on the right-hand side. And the reason being, I found when I fish with people that are inexperienced, they're like me, they're not ambidextrous, they can't use both hands, and they're used to any fishing they've ever done, it's been freshwater, and they will reel with their right hand. Their left arm is not their dominant arm, so if I put the handle on the left-hand side, we catch big fish. They make about 3 turns, and then their arm gives out, and I have to reel their fish in for them. So what I started doing was putting my handles on the right-hand side, and that alleviated that problem. So I'm kind of run things backwards, but it's because of the clients that I fish with, and it just works better. Anyone that brings it up, I know they're an experienced fisherman or fisher woman, and we changed the handle for them, but very seldom does it get picked up on unless it's someone with, that is used to using spinning gear. So I'm on this first rod that we're flying out. Got fish bites on the hook. Actually, I'm not going to use that drum. We're going to use this one. Got fish bites on the hook and fish bites only. A lot of times with the fish bites, I will use either fresh dead shrimp and or some finger mullet, small finger mullet cut. But let's see how this little clip here works. Yep. All right, it's gonna work good enough. So I'll tip it with fish bites and then fly the baits out. I had that going already at Blue Bank. Perfect. Once again, this drone does not have to be calibrated. I just powered it on, and looking at my remote, I've already hooked up with So from the remote, I have an actuator that opens the clasp that locks it in, and then Danny's holding it in place. I'll close it, and it's set up. Now, as we go to fly these out, the fishing line can be or can be your best friend. It's going to be your best friend when you go for the fish, but you definitely want to keep it away from the propeller. Several ways of doing this, and I'm going to cover it from the start, and I won't cover it every time. So if Danny and I are fishing together, Danny's going to hold the line over to the side, make sure the wind does not grab it. And as the drone elevates, he'll kind of slowly let go of it. On this first one, I'm going to demo how I would do it by myself. So Danny's very disposable. He don't know that. He means a lot to me, but I can replace Danny by standing on the line, kicking a little sand on it, and letting it go. So now I'm holding my line back, and I'm ready to take off. With that being said, you always have to look at your line, make sure it does not wrap around your rod tip, because one of the biggest failures of any drone, any fishing drone, is you're making a takeoff, you're starting to do the excel out, and something catches. It can be a knot in your line, it can be your line wraps around your handle. Something happens, and when the drone comes to a complete stop, when it's moving forward, it nosedives. When it nosedives, the bait swings around, gets wrapped up in the propellers, and then you get to go swimming. Or if you're lucky enough and it does not cut your line and you didn't release it, you can reel it in because it is hooked to your rod. First couple I crashed, I panicked, I hit the release. If I'd have just left it and the line hooked up, I wouldn't have had to swim 300 yards out into a bait field that I've been dropping shark baits and sharks everywhere. But, once again, money, a lot of money for a drone, I didn't think about the dying portion of it until after it was done. But anywho, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and power the drone up. You activate the motors on the drone by pulling the knobs in and down, and then I'll do a slow accel. You good, baby? One thing to keep in mind as you fly out, you're carrying baits. Birds like baits as well as fish do. So another concern of mine, I always keep my eyes on the drone, is the birds will attack you. So keep an eye out for them. Once I get to where I want, I'm gonna see how many yards we're at now. We're roughly 117 yards. I'm gonna go just a touch further, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the release. Bait drops, falls in water, and then I have a return to home button on the drone. I pull it down, and while I'm getting my rod ready, the drone's going to elevate to its preset height, and then it's going to start coming back this way, and it will land itself. It lands exactly in close proximity to where it took off from. Now, me as a fishing guide, and I try to dwell on safety. Once it gets overhead like so, I turn it off. And I have it in GPS mode, so it's going to maintain that spot regardless of the wind, regardless of anything, until I tell it to do something else. So once I have my rod set up and everything's fixed and we're ready, good to go, I actually lay eyes on the drone and land it manually because it has 0 safety features. If there's a kid flying a kite, dude riding a bicycle, whatever the situation may be, the drone don't give a damn. It's going to land where you tell it to or where it tells it to. So I wait and I lay eyes on it. Today I'm going to bring it over here in front of these golf carts. Any children in the crowd, this is my disclaimer. Do not go running to the drone. It's not happy to see you. So, but I'm going to bring it over. And also earlier I said we'd talk about battery life. So the FD1 Plus that we're using now, it has a battery rating of roughly 30 minutes. And that's based on the wind speeds. So 30 minutes is based at 0 mile per hour and 0 weight being carried. The more weight you carry or the more wind that it has to overcome, it's going to take away from that battery life. Ideally, I can make anywhere from 6 to 10 drops off of one battery, and then I keep multiple batteries with me. Most cases, most days, on a 4-hour charter, I'll go through one full battery and maybe touch a second one. Next piece we're going to fly out, we'll go ahead and use this drone as well. Yeah. So next one we're flying out is start here. This is the if I'm casting this rod, 12-foot rod with this rig on it, I'm going to use a 6 to a 7 ounce. Today we're going to be flying it out. This 7 ounce is going to be suffice. And then down here we have a small piece of this looks like small piece of white. So one thing with starting the fish, the fish that you start using, if you want to catch big fish, you need to use big fish. And a lot of times by using big baits, you're going to minimize the catches of small fish. So if you don't want to do small fish, use big baits to go small fish or small mouth, big baits to get small fish. So with this bull drum rig, I keep my belts anywhere from the size that you see here, and I'll go all the way up to about the size of my fist. The bigger I get, the more tendency I have to hook up with sharks. So anytime I'm targeting with red drum, I'm strictly targeting red drum. I have big fish bites on here, whatever the flavor of choice. They come out with a new mulch, and I'll wait for the fish to go up, and that way we can test the new mulch flavors. But from the results down here from the Outer Banks and down in the Gulf of America, down below Florida, very solid base. But full drum rig, and we're going to fly this ride. One thing I'll say, here locally, depending on where you're from, the state line is going to Carroll County. You see the pier down here, the pier is in Horry County. In Horry County, which is Myrtle Beach, Cherry Grove, Surfside, everything going here pretty much all the way to North Carolina state line. You cannot legally park your car. So if you're using inside the vehicle, you're legal. You're charged. So one thing that I do when I catch a lot of sharks in Horry County, I use this drum rig because it's mono all the way down to the hook. Keep your baits relatively small and you're drum fishing. No matter what you hook up with, you're drum fishing in Horry County. And Horry County says whenever you hook up and you realize it's a shark, you're supposed to cut your line. I'll wade out to the water and I release the fish. I don't like leaving hooks in fish's mouth. And so I try not to bring any sharks or any bycatches that are not legal up on the beach. Have I? Yes. Will I again? Probably so, but I do keep it in the water and I'm going to get it disconnected. To me, it's safer for the fish and it's safer for the people that use the water to not have rogue hooks out there running around flawlessly and fish. And so, with all that being said, we're going to drop this rig out. We're going to go somewhere in the 200-yard range. Danny, you ready to help me hook it up? So, we'll go somewhere 200, 250 yards with this drop. Oh, yeah. So just clipping this drone clip in, and after we get through demonstrating everything, you guys are welcome to come down and ready to fly this guy out. All right, should be opened up, Danny.
Go ahead.
Ready? Closed up. So once again, we're going to make sure you have plenty of slack. So with the top of your rod, it's a little easier if you come out further because as this drone takes off, it says descend. If you're right underneath the rod, so I like to go down from the beach or down the beach a little ways. Like so, Danny will keep pressure and he looks that drag up. When I'm flying out by myself, I loosen my drag on this spinning gear. That way it keeps just enough tension on the line and the rod that the drone can fly it out. But it's also not free spooling. If I open the bail on this reel and just flying it out without managing that line, you're going to dump a lot of extra line, and then you run a strong possibility of catching a knot on one of your eyelets just because the line's so free. Once again, when a drone flying forward comes to an abrupt stop, it goes like this. Baits swing around, get tied up in the propellers, and you either get to go swimming or file an insurance claim. One of the two. All right, so we're going to make this drop. Like I said, going to drop it out about drone powered on. There we go. All right, we're gonna make our ascent. Now this drone, its forward speed is rated when you're flying in GPS mode about 16 miles per hour. I try to fly it at a good controlled slow speed. If you turn it off of GPS mode and put what they call ATTI mode, you're taking all the GPS coordinates or all the GPS play out of it, and you're strictly controlling the drone. Each propeller with your remote, it will go up to 40 miles per hour in that stage. I think you have to be an airplane pilot or way smarter than I am to do that, so I keep it simple and only fly in GPS mode. It makes it so easy. If I let off the remote, it's going to maintain that position until I tell it to do something else. So right now we're in the 175, 200 yard mark. We'll go ahead and do the release. The drone's going to come back home. Danny's just tightening up the line, getting all the slack out of it. So if you have zero experience surfacing or limited experience, one thing you want to do, no matter what rod you're using or what reel you're using, you want to maintain a very loose drag. That way if big fish comes and hits, I forgot to tell it to come home. It's coming home now. But if big fish hits, you don't lose your fishing gear. Also today, all these sand spikes you see us using, surf hippie fishing. My dyslexia is kicking in, Nick. I apologize, but surf hippie fishing, he provides me with these sand spikes, and these are. I'll let him tell you about them. If you're interested in them, check him. Yeah, I got it locked out. But they're aluminum ion. I think I'm saying that correct, maybe. So you don't have to worry about scratching or the paint peeling or any of that jazz. It will maintain these sand spikes here. I've used for over a year now, day in, day out on the beach. And hold up very well. Also, if you've never used a sand spike or this type of sand spike, whether it's PVC, aluminum, steel, whatever else they may make them out of. So I see a lot of people taking their hammer out to the beach with them, putting their sand spike in the ground and driving. So I used to be that guy also. Old man in a pair of overalls and sitting back behind me. He watched me do it 2 or 3 times. He came down and said, "Son, can I tell you something?" I was like, "Yes, sir." I mean, anytime you're on the beach and a guy in overalls comes up and asks me to tell you something, probably over and listen to him. He's going to give you some good advice. So he's like, why are you driving them in the ground? I was like, it's because I don't want fish blowing the stuff in. You know, I pay too much money for this. He's like, well, you don't have to drive it. He said, take your hand, put on top, rock it back and forward, and it'll sink down. Take the sand out. You want it deeper, do so, keep around. And the way these spikes are designed, that's all you have to do. Forget your hammer, leave it at home. Save it for your weekend projects. But regardless whether you're in the semi-soft sand, really soft sand, or down next to the water in the wet sand, this guy will sink down just like you've seen. So that's my little disclaimer there. Good, how are you? You want a snack? I think we got some fish bites. Does your dog like fish bites?
He does.
All right, so next I'm gonna power this drone down, Danny, and we're gonna switch over to the Fisherman Max. We're getting close, guys. Hang with me another 15, 20, 30 minutes. Josh, James, can you go ahead and rig that one up? We'll get it flew out next. But we're going to start wrapping this up here sooner than later. Other than asking questions and building questions and all that good stuff. One thing I have touched on, the new baggy, all those cases, so if it comes in a case series, like 11 foot is a case series, 12 foot case series, 13 foot 3 is a case series. The case series rod is designed to be used with either spinning gear or conventional reels. So you can use it in either application. So as you see, as we come down to the 13 foot 3, I've got a conventional. This is a 20 wide Penn International, but use it in the conventional set. So the eyelets will be facing towards me, where the first 3 that we flew out, the eyelets are facing the beach to use with the spinning gear. But as we go to the conventional setup, the eyelets will be facing you, and it will be like your Zepco 33 setup back in the day. The reason I go through these that's one reason I chose this location for the seminar today. If I'm going to demonstrate something, if I'm going to promote something, I want it to be legal, right? So by choosing this location today, and we were able to deploy the baits. So this rig that we're going to be using, I bumped up to 80-pound braid line. And on my braid line, if you've never heard of a company called True Braid, I use True Braid. It's online sales only. They're not in stores. Do what? 10-4. They're not in online stores, but you can link back to my site with Myrtle Beach Surf Fishing Adventures, and all my sponsors and partners are on there, and get you pointed in the right direction. Sorry about that. What do you need? Oh, yeah. No, you should be, let me see what you got going on here. Yep. Perfect. All right, just checking a few things there. Did you find one? Perfect. 80-pound test line coming down to this rig, Rogue Reels once again. This is, and Rob, wherever you're at, Smitty rig, right, Rob? Pretty sure it's the Smitty rig. It's a castable shark rig. So earlier we was talking about if you're hand casting a rig out, I've got it on a 13-foot rod now. I'm not going to ever try to cast that conventional reel, but I would also run this rig on this at a 12-foot rod. So we've got, and Rob may kill me for butchering if I butcher this, but I'm pretty sure it's around a 2-foot leader, and then or 2-foot steel leader up to about 4 foot of a mono as a shock leader. So we got about 6 foot of leader here that will not reel up inside your reel. So you're going to need at least 11, 12-foot rod to make that hand cast on that guy. That way you can get a good clean cast. Now, once again, I'm cheating today. I'm flying out with the drone. And also the hook size on this rig, a little bit bigger, and I'll go with a little bit bigger baits on this. Once again, definitely up to the size of my fist, because I'm targeting the sharks. Good thing about the Smitty rig is it's very universal. In this area where we catch a lot of sharks, even though I want to catch red drum, I will still use this rig because the hook size is small enough. And then that way, if I do hook up with a shark, that's okay. I can land that guy because I got the steel leader. Or if the red drum will still pick it up. It's not to the size that you're going to see that we're going to be dealing with here in a minute, where the red drum, they get a little leader shy if you get too big, too bulky. But I catch as many red drum on this rig right here as I will this job right here, because if I'm fishing in Georgetown County, I'm going to use this rig. That way, if I catch a drum, great. If I catch a shark, okay, I can land him. I don't have to worry about him cutting me off. And I don't go through as much tackle and as much gear. Am I leaving anything out, Danny? You ready to do this? All right. So I'm going to fire this guy off. However you want to get him. He's a beast. So, good question. Gentleman here asked if any of the other two, because I only mentioned it on the one, needs to be calibrated. So the FB1 Plus that we demonstrated first does not need to be calibrated. The Fisherman Max has the same operating system. It does not have to be calibrated. Danny, you ready? Opened up. So it does not have to be calibrated either. You fire it up. On this drone, once again, we get a display. Now, this display is kind of hard to see when the sun's directly above. They make a little shield that goes on here and shields it. But it'll tell me on here and give me a readout. Usually it takes about, I don't know, maybe 20 to 30 seconds to power up and achieve the satellites that you need. This drone works off of 30 satellites. I'll wait till it at least gets 15 before I'll attempt to take off. It has a little red button or a little red light on here. It will not let you take off if it does not have enough satellites. So even if I try to power the motors on right now, it's not going to. So right now we've reached 10 satellites. So I'm gonna give it just a second. The more satellites you have, the more consistent, more smooth flight that you receive. If it's working off a minimum satellite, sometimes it can get a little whoppy jaw on you. So I'll think up a lie or something to tell right quick when I'm trying to get the satellites. And then once we get there, we'll rock and roll. We're at 14 now. This rod, we'll go out to the 300 yards range roughly on it. And I don't know how many of you guys were here earlier, but earlier when I first got here, and a little bit thereafter, where we've seen the dolphins, there was a big school of bait fish out in that area. There's a lot of action, actually, something you can talk water. Maybe one fish, I don't know, could have been some sharks. Really, the only sharks that I can almost try to catch them. But whenever I'm fishing and I'm trying to decide where I'm dropping my bait, I watch the birds. The birds will give me a lot of information with what's going on out there. As you've noticed, as we come down the line, each bait we've dropped at a little different distance. Reason being, I don't want all my baits laying in one pile. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket. So as I fly them out, I stagger them, then I'll try to read the water conditions, and then ultimately, I fish here all the time, myself and some of these other guys. So I'll read the water, I'll read the action, but I pretty much know where my zones are at. So like I said, this is one we're going to drop out about the 300 yard mark. Danny, you ready? We good on our tension here? Beautiful. So I've turned the video feed on this one, so I'll be recording this deployment. After the show and later tonight or tomorrow or when I get bored, I'll actually upload the video feed from this. And that way you can go back and see what I'm actually seeing on this display as I'm flying out. Once again, I do very little time watching my display because I'm watching, make sure everything's smooth out here. Never seen 300 yards. You'll be surprised what 300 yards actually is. Right now we're at 200, so we got another 100 yards to go on this drop. All right, I've done the release. How's it, 295 yards? The drone's making this return. Once it gets over out, hold on, I think I'm losing speaker. There we go. Once it gets back overhead, I'll lock it out till I can lay eyes on and land it. I'm actually going to pause it right there and take a picture, y'all. Y'all look pretty. Very nice. Everybody wave at the camera. Y'all do anything I ask you, won't you? That was easy. Wow. Everybody throw $100 bills. All right. There we go. I'm going to get a quick little video here as I come in for the land. Okay, this last drop, talk about it while I'm landing and playing and all that good stuff. So, we talked about big baits. Everybody wants to, how big of a bait can I deliver? Well, this drone's rated at 8 pounds. So today we're going to be dropping a true 8-pound weight or bait. I think Josh weighed it. It was just right at 7 pounds. And then with our weight, it's going to be in the 8-pound range. We're going to take it out with this. Of course, we're targeting the big sharks. Ain't nothing else going to eat that. Anything of that size, and we're going to ride off the small sharks. So if you're wanting to catch big sharks, no small sharks, go big bait coast. All right, there we go. We got my speaker back. So big baits. Also, you'll notice on this guy, I've changed up the weight that I'm using. Previously, all the way down at the end, I started at a 2 ounce on rod number 1 that I'm hand casting out. Chip sinker, the sinker guy. All Sputnik sinkers, we used a 2 ounce, 3 ounce. Coming on down, flew this out. This was a 6 ounce. On this last one that we flew out, we have a 7 ounce. Now, with the currents and the distance that I'm going out with this and the size of the bait, I don't use Sputnik sinkers when I make this deployment. I use, it's, for lack of better terms, it's the same weights that they use whenever you're king fishing and using an anchor rod. You'll send your anchor line out using this type of sinker. It's rated at 8 ounces and it's got a little longer legs and it don't collapse. So I don't want it to move. I want to send this bait out there. I want it to lay until the big toothy guy shows up. When I fly a bait out this size, I don't expect to reel it in the next 30 minutes. This guy may lay out there 8-10 hours sometime. It ain't going nowhere until the big guy comes along. A little different setup. We're using a 100-pound braid on this reel, and the rig that we're using, so the rig that we're using, it's a modified Smitty rig. So that's what I call it. That's what I tell Rob I want, and that's what Rob makes me. So if you go to his store online, he has the Smitty rig, and then he modifies. We made a few little changes that I requested, and Rob's been gracious enough, and so that's what I use. And the differences are is just the length of the leader. So on all these rigs that we've been using, especially getting down in the heavier end rigs, the fish that you target, you want your rig to be longer than the fish that you're targeting. Reason being, especially you hook up with a shark. We've got this 6-foot rig over here that was the mica rig. If I catch an 8-foot shark on a 6-foot rig, what's going to happen? That shark's going to turn. He's going to tail slap my line, and where he's tail slapping at is going to be in my braid, and he's going to snap that braid right away. Braid does not do good with structure or any type of abrasion. So with this rig here, it's extended a little bit longer now. It's in the 20-foot range now. I do not expect to catch anything 20 foot, nor do I want to. because when I catch something 20 foot, I've got to do something with it, and I'm not that guy. But let these guys get past here. And that's another thing. Anytime I'm going to fly out a bait, I always look left and right, because people ain't watching you when they're out here walking. Actually, they don't like you, I promise. They like to cuss you and everything else. And I tell them, have a good day. But so I always give pedestrians the right of way. How you got a pretty dog here, bud? What's his name? Sam? Nice to meet you, pal. All right, so he's ready to quit talking. So opening the payload up here, closing it. Get our tension. Once again, we're going to get our tension set properly on our line. Danny's happy with it. 8 pounds, roughly around 7 pound bait. 1 pound, roughly. Actually, it's half a pound weight, but we're in the 8 pound range.
Yeah. Little over 8. Little over 8.
Grown.
Yeah.
And alright, we're getting ready to lift. We're going to make the left, go out in the 500-yard range. You'll think you're a drone leaving Myrtle Beach, or when you do that, you almost lose sight of them. So we're going to go ahead and make this lift off. You ready, Danny? So only Danny makes the correction. I'm going to make my lift very gradual. That way it takes the bending out of the So we made our lift, and we're going to start to ride out. I always say, oh great, low battery. Hey, Danny, I'm going to bring you back. Actually, I'm going to drop it right there. So I just done a disconnect. I'm gonna bring it back, Lindsay, and change the battery out, which I probably should have done beforehand, especially delivering a bait this size. So the drone is a lot smarter than I am. It knows from the history, the way that I've been flying it, then the weight that it just picked up, that it wasn't gonna be able to make the flight that I was gonna ask it to do. So it starts telling me it's got a low battery. That being said, I could still make a pretty good distant haul with a average bait, and then it'll hit a second alarm. Once the second alarm hits, it's going to come back to where it took off from at that point in time. And that's all the drones that we've looked at today or talked about. Once they hit the low battery status, they're going to return to home, and it will automatically drop the bait that it's carrying. Now that bait I released manually just because it was giving me the verbal low battery. One good thing about these drones, all 3 of them up here on the table, is the battery swap out. It's very simple, very easy. I'm just going to power off my remote right quick. Possibly. Extra battery that comes out of the box. There's 4 simple slides here that releases the battery. Excuse me. Battery lifts off. New battery goes in place. All right. Is that quick? I'm going to power it back on and we'll be ready to go for round 2. Danny, I can't believe you've done that, bud. So, powered everything back up. Danny's going to make our connection. We've already hit 26 satellites, so we're going to be able to rock on. Ready?
Hold on.
Yeah, we got the flood traffic coming through. And you get out the right away behind. How you guys doing? Doing great. Sometimes when you're using those leaders, all these leaders I put on today, and Rob warned me last night, he's like, John, if you don't take those leaders out packed until you get to the seminar, they're going to pull up on you. Mono, especially as cold weather as it is, it forms that memory. As it heats up, it stretches out. So that's why James have to fight it a little extra hard. It's just because of the heavy-duty mono with the cooler temperatures, because my buddy from Canada or somewhere up there where he's from, cold weather. Get ready. And my guy from Florida, remember you suck, you can't get ready for warm weather. We're powering up. Once again, I'm going to make this lift kind of slow, that way it takes off the middle and that. What's that? So the gentleman asked me what the height is. I'm going to guess around 4 or 30 yards high. Everything on these drones reads in meters or yards, millimeters. Drones are manufactured in China, which really made me nervous because last time China flew something over Myrtle Beach, which was a plane that got took out, and it didn't fare too well. So. One thing with the Myrtle Beach Airport being here close by, the military does use the airport for their National Guard training events and whatnot. So anytime I see the military planes in the air, I always give them right away. So the gentleman asked if you need any license to fly the drone. It needs to be registered with the FAA, and then depending on what your uses are on it, there are several different classes you take. If you're or licensing or accreditation program, but like I said, depending on what your uses are, as long as you're not using it to make money, you're free to do whatever you want to do, just as long as you're not in restricted airspace. So right now we're approaching 500 meters. Another thing about the drones, especially when you're night fishing, once you make your drop and you return to home, the nose of the drone dips down and you'll lose sight of the lights when that happens. Dan, you ready to release? So release has been made, drop, and it's going to return to home. But the lights, as the drone dips down and noses down, your drone will disappear from your line of sight in about 30 seconds. So you can imagine how many heart attacks I had when I first started night fishing. As the drone would lose, the lights would go away. And it's not that they're going away, it's just the angle that the drone's traveling that you can't see the light. There's a timer on this screen as well, so we're about 5 minutes into this drop. So just to give you an idea of how long or how quick the drop is, we've done a 500 yard drop there from takeoff or from the time I powered the drone on till where it's at right now. We're at 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Once again, we'll lock this guy out and I'll land it manually. Hey, fish on, bud. I'm joking.
Should be here in a few
Sorry
minutes.
about that. He's gonna kill me. My bad. I can only this has been a low down dirty. I've tried to cover a lot of broad topics. I would be glad to, and more than happy to, fill any questions. And then, of course, we're going to give away this drone subject. Has everybody received a blue ticket? If anyone has not received a blue ticket to enter the drone, speak now, forever hold your peace. And if you haven't, make your way down to the table over here where people are waving at you, and they will give you a ticket. And so we're going to do about a 5 minutes pause here right quick. We'll turn some music on for just a minute. I'm going to talk to my guys, make sure there's nothing else we need to cover. And then, hey, you've been here a long time, bro. All right. So anyways, we will take a 5-minute break, and then we'll get everything geared up to make this giveaway or giveaways. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like each company is doing a giveaway. I'll figure this out exactly what's going on during this little break. If you need a cup of coffee, we have coffee over here. We have water, refreshments. Give me just a few minutes to talk to everybody, make sure we're all asleep, and then we'll give away, answer questions, and wrap things up whenever y'all are done. I'm here for you guys, so stand by.
I got a question.
Got a question? What you got, bud?
So, if you're out on patrol, how well in your booth?
So are you on the boat or are you going with that?
How well does the drone connect with your joystick?
So the SD4 is the only one that has the functions that you're going to need for that. So what you would do is put it in cruise mode from your remote.
Honestly, you want to put it on a tripod?
I was gonna say the one that I have.
I think he's done speaking.
I had to borrow James and them when I came out of them. Mine's my phone.
Where we're going?
Down, man.
You ever have fish,
welcome.
Perfect. So, last call, blue tickets. Anyone that does not have a blue ticket, please go to the waving people over by the table, get a ticket. I'm working my way that way to pick up the box of, or bucket or container full of tickets. I'm going to bring them up front. We're going to have a total of 6 giveaways. I don't know what 5 of them are, but we'll talk about them as I as I give away. But we're going to start down with Brian on this end. He's got a giveaway. We're going to draw a number, and whoever wins that getaway gets that giveaway. We're going to give away 5. So we're pulling 5 tickets initially. Once those 5 are done, I'm taking those 5 tickets going back into the container. That way everybody is still eligible for the drone, and the 6th gift we give away will be the drone. So everybody's got a ticket, right? Perfect. Good. Alrighty, so I'm shocked and amazed. I asked, or Swellpro told me we had to get 100 people here to give away a drone. The 100 people cannot consist of anyone that's sponsored or directly involved in the event, and also cannot include spouses of those people. So we coming in. I promise I'm gonna make an announcement last call. But so that ticket that she just put in the box made 97 people here today, which is absolutely phenomenal. This is our first year. This is our first year. My first year organizing this event. I feel very confident with the support and the reach that we've got, that we will be doing them in the future, maybe another one in the fall, and we will gear a little bit different. I'd love to see y'all again in the future, but wow, 97 people. Thank y'all. Thank you to the sponsors that helped me promote it and everyone that has a hand in it. I'm sure I've left a lot of people out. I apologize. I promise I'm not that self-conceited. I just got a bad memory problem. Ask my wife. I remember what time I'm supposed to go fishing. All right, so in this, let me shake it up. We have the tickets in here that we're going to give away. This young man in front of me right here, what's your name, pal?
Cruz.
Cruz. I like it. Did you say Cruz? All right, cool name, dude. So Cruz is going to draw our first ticket. You good with that? Here, let me shake it up. So he's going to draw our first ticket. Hold up a second, Cruz. Man, you ready to do this, ain't you, bud? Our first ticket we're going to be giving away is going to be from Brian with Surf Fishing Solutions. And I'm not sure what it is. Hold up. All right, I'm getting a lot of... All right, so give it away. And what way this is going to work, I'm going to draw 5 tickets. Brian's giving away the first prize. We're going to come down. Rob of Rogue Reels is going to give the second prize, which will be a second ticket. Third ticket will be Chip the Sinker Guy. Fourth ticket will be Surf Fishing Hippie. And fifth ticket will be Brett Fish Bites. After we make those 5 drawings, we give those gifts away. The 5 tickets that we have pulled will go back in the case. That way everyone is still eligible. And the last ticket we will give away will be for the fishing drone. It is not this fishing drone, but it is identical to that drone. Before I give it away, I'll give a few more details on it. But my buddy Cruz, are you tired of hearing me talk? And you want to go fishing? See what you catch, buddy. Reach up in there. Pull one ticket out. All right. Come all the way out with it. There you go. Is that your girlfriend's phone number on there? All right. So first ticket. I think I can look at the last 3 digits and call them out. Is that right? So ticket 784. 784. I got a hand raised back in the back over here. So congratulations. You didn't know you had to give a speech, did you? I'll talk for you. I just like to talk. What's your name? I'm sorry. All right, this is Miss Susan. Where are you from, Susan? Somewhere. Where'd you say? Manning. Got you covered. So Brian's it looks like a sand spike. Very nice. Very nice gift. Thank you for attending the seminar. Who you here with? Husband and kid. Welcome to the Myrtle Beach area. You guys have been here for a while. Y'all are here early, wasn't you? Thank you for coming out today. Appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed the seminar. Hang on to your ticket because you're still eligible. All right. My friend here is going to keep up with this. And, all right. So, Cruz, help me out. Who else wants to help out? You got to be less than 90 years old and breathing. All right. You right here. Yeah, you hold that one. You want to help me go fishing? Reach up in here and see what you catch. All right, so before he reaches in, the next giveaway is going to be, who would I say, Rob with the Rogue Reels. So, I'm not sure what he's giving away, but it'll be nice. So, reach in there. Oh, let me shake it up. You already had to do that. What's your name? Kobe. All right, so Kobe's going fishing here in the old box. Reach in there, pull out one ticket on me, please. All right, Kobe. What you got, brother? Oh, he says 628. 628. Man, that's a hot corner back there. Looks like we got a gentleman back in the back here.
Randy!
Randy, you must be a crowd favorite. Randy, what's your name, bud?
What's your name?
Where are you from? All right, Randy's from here. You'll want to hang on to that. See Rob right up here. He's going to be giving you your prize package. I'm going to recycle your ticket back over here, and we're going to go to gift number 3. Good job, pal. All right, next we'll be giving away a gift from Chip, the sinker guy. And I need another volunteer. Yep. Where are we at? Yep, I got both y'all. Warner. So whoever wants to be first. Come on. You'll be next. Sorry, I got too close. What's your name? All right, Jackson. Do you like to sing? Do you like to sing? Okay. All right, Jackson ain't gonna sing us a song, so we'll let him go fishing in the box here. Chip, the singer guy, my main man Chip here, he's gonna be giving away this gift. Oh, reach in there, buddy. Jackson, where you from? Jackson's from here. If y'all ain't never been here, it's a great place. All right, Jackson pulled ticket 641. 641. I don't know why I'm looking this corner, but it's been on. Look at here. Good deal. Oh, that don't go back in there yet. Come over here. What's your name? Ted, where did you come to us from? Here in Lake Murray, two better places in the world. Hang on to that ticket. That way you're still eligible to win the drone. Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for making the drive here or there, wherever you came from. All right, next, Nick, surf hippie fishing. Looks like another sand spike. So, there you go. Come on down. Brent? That's all right. Where are you from? Okay. That's North Carolina, right? That's one of his favorite places to fish. Would you like to fish? What's the biggest fish you ever caught? Trap? How big? Go. There we go. So I got a question. Was you using fish bites on your hook? Good answer. Good answer. Thank you. If you'd have said no, I might have been in trouble. All right, bud. So, reach in here and see what we find. How we go? 10. All right, this says P-I-C-K-E-T on it. Oh. 623. 623. We got a hand back over here. All right, so my friend a while ago asked him if he liked to sing. He said no, so you got to. Okay, come on down, bud. You ain't got to sing. What's your name? Austin. Where you from? North Carolina. You're not going to tell you must be on the older list up there. So you ain't there down. Oh, we Raleigh, we got Stone, we Shelby. Where we at? Salisbury. Out in God's country. Not too far from my buddy Nick here. All right, hey, thank you for coming today. Congratulations. So I believe we're down to one last before the final drawing. Brett, yeah, there you are, buddy. Awesome. I need another helper. All right, slow down. Not so fast. Where are we at? Oh.
This little one.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Nah, he said no.
And
He's not paying no attention. You want to pick a ticket?
you want to reach in here and pull us out a ticket? What's your name? Puddingtane. Ask me. Can you sing? What's his name? Grayson. Nice to meet you. Where you from, Grayson? From the sandbox. I like it. Me too. All right. Reach in there and pull it. One. Oh, no. Oh, no. I got my back turned to you. That way, if you get 27, Mom can help you put some back. All right. Perfect. So it looks like ticket number 796. 796. Back in that left-hand corner. All right. So, off of what I'm seeing, come on down. From what I'm seeing, as we give this last prize away, which will be the finale, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to go stand in the corner. So that's a hot corner. What's your name, ma'am? I'm Dave. Tammy? I'm Sammy. Tammy, where do you go to this from?
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hey, I'm good with it. You gotta live with it. So,
Thank you so much.
perfect. Thank you for coming out today. All right, so now that we've given away these 5 gifts, I want to take the time once again to reiterate how grateful and thankful I am to these partners and sponsors that just speak to you. So we do not put anybody out in front of you here today or any time that I would not endorse any time, which I do. They endorse me too, but I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I hope it shows by the people I surround myself with. With that being said, we're coming down to the final giveaway, which is going to be the drone. We're going to put, can you count to 5? Make sure there's 5 tickets there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. They're going back in. And FD1 plus drone that we're giving away. Only thing I've done to this drone was open the box and make sure it wasn't a hot air balloon. So it is legitly a drone. It is the FD1 plus. Same exact drone as we flew down here. It has the bait connection on it. No camera. It does not have camera capabilities, but it is a workhorse. If you went out and bought this drone from Swellpro, it's valued in the $1,300 range. By the time you pay taxes and shipping, you're going to be in the $1,500 range. They've been grateful, or I'm grateful for them sponsoring this event and giving this away. I know you guys came to listen to me and the other guys talk, and nobody wants this drone, but somebody's going to go home happy. If you are interested in purchasing a drone from Swellpro at any time in the near future, several things going on here. Myself and Nick, Surf Fishing Hippie, we both have discount codes that we can give you. Nick, he's from North Carolina. Nick started ambassador with them last year, roughly. Once North Carolina opened it up to where you could legally use drones. And so Nick's discount code is Hippie, And it's easy to remember because Surf Hippie Fishing. It's spelled Hippie. Is that right? Okay, perfect. So if you go to Swellpro's official site, as you decide what you're going to buy when you go to checkout, it will give you a opportunity to put in a discount code. Hippie. My discount code, so I'm Myrtle Beach Surf Fishing Adventures. So to make it easy, it's MB for Myrtle Beach, SWP for Swellpro. So MBSWP. Both of us are on social media, all platforms, whether it's Facebook, TikTok. You on TikTok, Instagram. So if you do go to purchase and you can't remember this code that we're talking about, you can contact Nick or myself, either one, and that will help Swellpro gauge judgment or get feedback from this event. Previous to this event, the FD1 was not covered, or our discount code would not give you a discount because they already had this drone on the money. I talked to Swellpro last week. They're going to open that code up on the FD1 through the end of March. So the discount code will apply to the FD1, Fisherman Max, SD4, SD3, and any of their other drones. So anything that you want to purchase from Swellpro, those will save you money. Everybody likes to save money, right? So in here we have the drone identical. Two batteries come with it, a full set of propellers with the extra propeller, the remote, the chargers, and then it also has the membrane cover that is like this that's on the drone. The remote on this drone is not waterproof or sandproof, so by using this membrane, it takes it to a little more protection. It's a $5 item to ensure that you keep your $1,500 drone. So if you use this drone and do not have that membrane cover, I highly recommend it. So I've jaw jacked enough. Who's going to draw this winning ticket for us? No, you can't do it, Dawn. Sorry.
That kid right there.
Nobody wants a drone? I can't give away a drone? I'm going to give somebody opportunity that has not drone yet. Drone. That has not went fishing in the bucket yet. There's got to be somebody around here. I see a hand waving down there. Come on down. There's a lot of pressure on you right now. Has anybody offered to pay you money to pull their ticket? No? You gonna pull your own? Okay, if you're that good. What's your name? Kylie? Where you from, Kylie? You gonna sing a song? No? What part of Virginia you from? Middleton? Bilton. So I told you I can't hear. All right, so Miss Kylie, I'm gonna shake this up real good. You look up the hill, reach in there, pull out. One ticket, please. I'm not going to look, but just make sure you don't pull out 6. You good? All right, remove it. All right. So is the first digit a 7? Okay. We just lost half this crowd. First digit is not 7. So I guess it's going to be a 6. Yeah. All right, so Kylie, right? Miss Kylie's going to announce the winning number, and I'm guessing it starts with a 6.
633.
633. 633. Oh, there we go. Very nice. What's your name? Bill. Where do you come to us from?
Saratoga Springs, New York.
Sarah, did you move here?
Kylie.
Did you drive down for this event? Sounds great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, congratulations. We'll talk a little bit about it. If you have any questions before you leave, I'll give you information where you can call me. Are you familiar with the Swellpro drones at all? Okay, so I ain't gonna leave you red-handed. Before you leave, I'll give you some information to kind of help you out, and also give you my contact.
Right. Is this the one you're...
No.
I know it's in that box.
Yes, it's identical to this
Can
drone.
we pick it up and just...
Absolutely, yes, that sounds like a great idea. So my wife would like to get you to take a picture with this drone. Even though it's not yours is identical to that. So here, grab hold of one of the arms of it, anywhere. Perfect. Excellent. And then, if you could, I'd like for you to go down, stand next to the Swellpro. If anybody's peacing out and leaving, before you do get going, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for attending today. Hope you picked up something that was beneficial. Just because you did not win, you do not have to leave. We'll be here for a little bit answering any questions, pick our brains, and hopefully make it worth your time. But once again, thank you for attending.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself. Just go one more. Keep shining.
All right, let me jump in with my man.
Yep.
Keep on holding.
Yes, sir.
Josh.
Talk to me. I hope this was beneficial. you ever need anything, give me a shout. Thank you, buddy. Whoever it was, send me a phone. There you go. So,
Use damn old fishing stick.
yeah,
Old
I
power
used to
stick.
use old fishing
Old power stick you had.
So, Steve, the surf guy, take a picture of that. You go to his website. Great, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain.
Did you enjoy the seminar?
That's my youngest. That's Jackson.
Oh, okay.
His birthday.
Yeah,
was
Jackson,
yesterday.
he pulled winning tickets for us.
Yeah, you brought me out a couple years ago. My buddy, he was passing out and broke the pole. Remember me and you were laughing our asses off out
I
there?
forgot all. Hey, man, it's funny the stuff that you see.
Have a good one.
Exposed.
That ain't the only one
Hey,
he
see you,
broke.
brother.
He broke another one the next year.
Unbelievable. Did you enjoy the seminar?
Yeah, we appreciate you doing it. Man. It's good to see you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, always.
You're not fishing down here much anymore.
Yeah, I actually do, but I mean, it's seasonal, you know. I'm starting, yeah, sure. Between here and down at the point.
You're doing a lot of Ocean Lakes now.
I do a lot of those lakes.
You guys live over there?
Yeah, so I live in there. And if there's staying in Ocean Lakes, and as long as they're not going to charge the sharks, we'll back out there. Just because no, you can cut it whenever you're ready.
Because you guys used to live across the way, you said, over in
Yeah, across the street.
Over there, yeah.
So